Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today for our education webinar. I am here as well as Christine, who is one of our current students. We'll introduce ourselves in a minute, but let's get started. Okay, so like I said, my name's Caitlin. I'm one of the Access Project Officers here at Flinders Uni, and this is Christine, one of our current students studying in the education field. Today's presentation is going to be about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Please make sure that your camera and your microphone are both off, just makes it a little bit easier for our presentation today. If you do have questions though, we really want to hear them, please ask them via the chat function and we will try and get to them at the end. Just a little heads up, this information is intended for domestic applicants, so all of the course information is relevant for anyone that wants to tune in and watch, but just that last couple of slides with our application processes is for domestic applicants. There is a lot of places where you can get information if you are an international student. Please get in touch with us. Any audio issues, there's a couple of fixes you can do. If not, please let us know. All right, getting straight into it. What are we going to cover today? In today's webinar, we are going to give you some general information about education courses that you can study with us here at Flinders. We're going to give you some advice on where you can find out more information. If it whets your appetite today and you want to know more, you'll be able to know where to go. We're going to give you a story from Christine, our current student, to tell you about her journey and how she got here and how studying has been for her here. And also, like I said, give you some information about how to apply as well. So give you some information about what that looks like, what the process is, so that you can take those next steps if you'd like to. So why would you come and study education here at Flinders? Well, we are #1 in SA for full-time employment in teacher education and also #1 in SA for teaching quality in teacher education. So some really great points for us here at Flinders. We're also one of the largest providers of education teaching here in SA as well, and we have some really exceptional students that have done some great things that have gone on from our space here. So Brian Schiller was awarded the 2014 Prime Minister's Prize for Excellence in Science Teaching in Primary Schools, and Catherine Owen awarded the Exceptional Master Leader in Education by Childcare Exchange. That's just a couple of our students that have gone on and done some really outstanding things. I think there would be so many more, lots more stories about students that are still here doing great things, and also students that have left and gone on and done amazing things as well. Hopefully we can hear a little bit more about that. I guess too, it is a really fantastic area to be studying. So many opportunities, so much growth, a lot of broad kind of areas that you can really get involved in as well. Some of the reasons you might want to study education with us here at Flinders. Cool. So what does it look like? Well, we could probably talk about this for a really, really long time because there's lots of options in this space. But I guess some of the basics is a Bachelor of Education Early Childhood with a Bachelor of Arts, a primary level, so if you're looking at that R to 7, or a secondary as well. So kind of looking at either that really early childhood focus going right back, some are in primary, so that's a pretty big range of ages as well, but you can be in that space, and secondary, working with those high school students and doing some of that specialist kind of knowledge-based teaching. You can also combine education studies with so many areas. There's a couple there on the screen, but kind of the possibilities are almost endless in terms of what you can add and combine with an education degree. If you do want to find out more information, I really advise you have a look at our website. You can look at all the different combinations. You can find out some more information about what they all look like as well, and delve a little bit deeper into what you might study depending on that specialisation too. Yeah. So what will you study? Again, a really big one, but I guess some of the main points, some of the sort of cherry-picked areas that you're going to study probably fairly well across all of those different...
They are the core
kind
of learning areas for teaching.
Those core areas. So there is a lot of crossover with any of those courses that you're choosing, a lot of similarities between primary, secondary, early areas. So some of the things, educational context, philosophy and pedagogy. I think pedagogy is one of those words you're going to hear a whole lot if you're studying education. So get used to that one. Maybe go Google it and find out what it means. You do get to do a placement, so that's a really core kind of component of all of our teaching degrees. Something that's a really great opportunity to put that theory into practice. Get out there in the school and kind of start to understand what that looks like, what working with young people looks like, what working with other teachers looks like too. A really great chance to do that. Things about curriculum development, what that looks like, applying that learning and making sure you're sort of ticking off those curriculum benchmarks. Relationships for learning, obviously, again, a really important one no matter who you're teaching. Really understanding the importance of those relationships. Also differentiation, so something we talk a lot about in education, which
another
is
big word.
Another big word that's always hard to say, but a really important one. So making sure that you are able to teach a whole range of young people and to take into account different styles of learning, different abilities, different backgrounds, all of that stuff, which is really important and really interesting, I think, too.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best topics.
Yeah, there you go.
In the course, for sure.
Best topic. Also looking at learners and development, so something that is important, again, sort of depending on where you're going to come across that young person in their development, important to understand where they're at, kind of where they've come from, maybe where they're going as well.
Yeah.
That's all relevant to their teaching and their learning. That's just, I guess, a really kind of brief idea of what some of the things might be that you're going to be studying. So if that sort of stuff seems interesting to you, seems like something you might think sounds pretty cool and something you could spend a couple of years looking into.
4 years.
4 years, just a brief 4 years. Definitely please have a look at the website and find out more information about what all of that looks like. But I suppose to hear one person's story about what they studied and what that looked like, we have the lovely Christine.
Thank you.
Is going to tell us a little bit more. So maybe to start with, tell us what your study area is and then give us a bit of an idea of maybe how you chose that and what it's been like for you.
So, I'm Christine. I'm studying a Bachelor of Education, reception to Year 7, so that's the R to 7, with special education and disability studies. So mine's a combined degree. I range from reception to Year 7, but my major as such is special education, and then outside of that I have combined it with disability studies, which means I can also work in the community, and that's across all ages. I chose the degree, I was in two minds. So I started doing nursing, and then I did a year of that, and that's how I kind of got into uni as well, through nursing. And then I transferred because I had the GPA to get into teaching. So I chose it because I always wanted to work with children, but I just didn't know in what capacity. So it interested me in all different things. So I started nursing to do like pediatrics, but then realised disability is kind of the best of both, and special education is that as well. So it's working with one-to-one with children and reaching their goals as well. So it's one of the major things why I chose the degree. What the course is like, so questions. The course is very structured in my stream, so my combined degree, but there's so many other options with education. So you can do it with majoring in PE or in business. So that's still an option as well. You can still do primary teaching and then still do business topics. So it's really flexible in what you can combine it with. I do mine with disability, as I've said before. That is very structured. So there's not rooms for elective, but that works really well for everyone in our degree that I'm doing it with, because it's all laid out for you for 4 years. You get to your final year, you get to pick 2 topics, which are disability topics. Fantastic. But it's all structured and it all leads to, so it builds up to what you'll be learning. So you're starting in year 1 doing those core topics, but they build on each other every year, and then you get to final year and you get to choose 2 that you might be really interested in. So it really works well structured. Some people, it works well for some others, but there's electives as well. So you can combine it with anything and your interest, and that's what makes education so beneficial as well, to study as well as obviously teach. We do online at the moment. Which has been really, really good. The uni is very good for education because as a teacher, you need to be flexible in these things as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Practice what you preach here.
Exactly. Learning online is tricky to start with, but it's been fantastic. And Flinders are really looking into how we can do it for those that need to do it online or want to do it online, but also offline as well. So they kind of go really well hand in hand. And I'll talk about the best thing about the course. I'm trying to talk the course up here. It's really, really good. I don't know how I could say it in those kind of words, but the best thing about the course is the people you'll meet. That everyone says this about uni, but it is. It's once you're in a degree and you get to those, couple of third, fourth years, then the people you meet are so similar in their mindset to you that it's so easy and you all share this common goal. And particularly in teaching, it's about helping others and inspiring young minds. So we all are on the same page. We all get along so well, particularly in our kind of course. I've been fortunate enough in education to be able to go overseas twice. So I went to Fiji and Nepal last year, my third year. And that was the opportunities for education students are definitely out there, and they're some of the best. So that's one of the best things I've done, and this course has allowed me to. And also your recognition for your hard work. So as a teacher, sometimes it's a thankless job often, but in uni you actually get rewarded quite well if you do well. So there's a Medal of Excellence, and then there's a Credit Union SA award for academic achievement as well, so excellence there. So you do get recognised as well. What else should I talk about?
Yeah, I guess any advice if someone's watching and they're thinking that education might be for them, what would you say to them if they're maybe on the fence or unsure or trying to choose between education and maybe something else?
Yeah. So like I did, my advice would be trying it. Try it out, see what you like. Education is one of those courses that a lot of people go into because they are unsure. And it's fantastic because it will allow you to go into different pockets and try different things. And there's so much flexibility. And it sets you up really well because in those first couple of years, it gives you the skills that you can use for all other degrees as well. But once you're in education, it's not just limited to teaching in a classroom. There are so many other options.
Yeah.
So my advice would be to try it for sure, just to get in there, try your first placement, which I think they are bringing earlier now as well in your degree. So that's really beneficial and you can really see if it suits you. And then my other advice would be to be prepared and to put in some effort as well, because if you put in the effort, you'll see the rewards for that as well, particularly for teaching. The more effort you put in, the more rewards you'll get, the more opportunities you'll have, and the more you'll understand what it is you're doing. So and then you'll understand if this is the career choice for you, which is an amazing one. I'm in my final year, so I'm nearly done. And then also that help is there as well. If you are unsure, there is such a good range of help available in our education course as well as at Flinders, that they can help you make up your mind, and you can try different things to see what suits you, so you're not always stuck in the same kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something we like to talk about a lot with people that are thinking about uni, is that it's not set in stone. You can start, you can move, you can definitely seek out that advice from a whole bunch of people in the university. We've got people that are here before you come to try and help you get here and to help you with the application process. Then we've got people here when you are here to help you with things like course plans and choosing those topics and working out which way to go. Things like placement, there's a whole team that supports you to make sure you can get a placement, stay in a placement, manage it. It can be really tricky, but there's a whole team that supports that as well, so you're kind of not alone. And also things like counselling, health and disability, even a careers team. So when you're almost at the end, like Christine, and looking to
get bombarded with emails about these are your options and so much.
Yep. So hopefully when you get sort of down the line and ready to get out there in the sort of big wide world and maybe get a job, there's people that are here to help you with that as well. So the support, I think that's a big myth that people hear about uni a lot, is that if you come here, you're going to be all alone and nobody's going to care. It's certainly different from places like school, and maybe you need to be a little bit more proactive.
Yes.
Put your hand up and seek help, but it's certainly there. There's so many people that are here to support in lots of different ways as well. Even before you get here and even after you've finished studying too, there's a whole bunch of teams that you can still access at that point too. So the whole way along, you can access those people, and it often makes it a lot easier if you reach out for help as well. For sure. So yeah, awesome. Thank you. I think that's really helpful. So let's move right along. So if you've heard all that and you think this might be something you're interested in, if it sounds right up your alley and something that you want to pursue, these are kind of the entry requirements. So you can see there, we've only put up a few options because we would probably need about 50 slides to put it all in. So we've kind of picked the big main ones, but there are some differences in some of those specialisations, some of those other degrees as well.
So Bachelor of Arts is more that you can major in areas of your interest, so languages, all of that. So Bachelor of Arts will cover all of that, and then you'll go off into different.
Yeah, perfect. So if you're looking at an ATAR as your entry point, you kind of be looking at about 70, sort of around that mark. But we also do have those other alternative entry pathways. So things like TAFE, things like the STAT test and foundation studies. There's a whole range of options if either you're not coming straight from school or you've been out in the field and done you might have had a whole other career and
like
you're coming to teaching later on. There is lots of other ways as well. So again, I guess I would say please give us a call. We'll give you our contact details at the end, but give us a call or get in touch with us in one of those other ways as well to talk about your personal circumstances. So what it looks like for you. Again, I think sometimes we always hear about ATAR entry, and that's definitely one way to get to uni, but there's so many others. And so if you're looking at that 70 and it just looking really unachievable, please let us know and we can talk to you about other ways, things like pathway courses. Starting in, Bachelor of Arts sometimes is a way that people can then move across. But yeah, definitely don't let that put you off. Talk to us and see. There's usually a way to get in. So if you do end up studying here with us, I guess at the moment we like to talk about the fact that all of our learning has moved online.
Yes.
Just with the restrictions that are in place at the moment, that happened really quickly. And like you said, our staff were really great at moving that online really quick.
It's been really good. The online learning sounds a lot harder than it actually is. So it's been really good. And it's that flexibility as well. So you can do it from home. You need motivation, true, yes you do. And it is hard for someone like me who just likes to watch Netflix all the time. But to find that motivation to do it online, everything's there. Your tutor will be there. You'll have discussion forums, live sessions. It would be like class, just you're in your PJs at home. But it's worked out very well, and I feel like it could be the new normal as well.
It's interesting. We're a bit unsure of what that's going to look like down the track and how that might impact courses. So it's something to still look at and consider if you're thinking about applying. Look at things that are available online, but also things that are only available on campus. But definitely something to think about. And also just be aware that all of our support services and a lot of our social groups have gone to online at the moment too. So everyone's in the same boat. We're all kind of learning in that way at the moment. So there's a whole, again, all those services that you would usually go and see here on campus, you can still get in touch with them. In lots of different ways, so you're not kind of alone out there at home in your pajamas. There's other people on the other end as well, so we're still kind of here, even if you can't come in and see us face to face at the moment. So that's what things look like right now. In terms of applying, so if you're looking at applying, you need to be doing that through SATAC, so that's where every university application for South Australia goes through there. There is a pretty great website. It's quite easy to use. They do kind of give you some support and step you through that process a little bit. You do get 6 preferences, and we always like to talk about putting your first preference as the one you want the most. So don't worry too much about the entry. If you think it's really out of your reach, still pop that as your number 1, and then look at those other preferences for some of those possibly backup options, some pathways. Again, please speak with us. It can be tricky to navigate that system when if you have never done it before. If you haven't kind of looked at that website, it could be good to jump on there, have a look, look at some of our course websites as well, and then get in touch with us and we can sort of support you to work out those preferences and to sort of look at how the best way to kind of best way to allocate that could be too. So get on there and have a look if you're interested. That is available for mid-year. So if you're really keen and ready to go, you could be starting this year. Most of the education courses are available mid-year. There's only a few that you cannot do, that you can't start until the start of next year. So you'd be looking at 2021. Again, you can find that information about what is available and isn't either on the SATAC website, on our Flinders website, or if you get in touch with us. So lots of ways to check your particular interest, whether it's available or not. But that is Monday 1st of June, so you've still got a bit of time to pop that application in. And even after you put that in, you can still move those preferences around. So we do often advise as well, get your application in, make sure you don't miss the deadline, make sure you don't have to pay any extra late fees. And then you can still, there's quite a big window where you can move around those things and those preferences and kind of juggle with that. I know some people do that right up until the deadline. Yeah. So that's a possibility too. There is a bit of a cost to that for those applications, so a processing fee that's applicable for everyone. So just something to keep in mind. So, like we said, there is a lot to consider if you're thinking about studying. There's different courses, different combinations, different specialisations, all those things. So if you maybe after today choose to have a look at the website and are a little bit overwhelmed or just want to ask some follow-up questions, find out about your particular circumstances, here's all the ways you can get in touch with us. So you can phone us. There's a whole team of people working both here in the office and also a whole bunch of our team working from home that can answer your call sort of Monday to Friday 9 till 5. So we're open all the business hours. You can book in a one-on-one appointment. So generally they would be face-to-face, but at the moment you can request a phone appointment. You can do that through our website. You can chat online, so log on to our Facebook. We've got a messenger as well that you can access. You can email as well. So whatever suits you, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever kind of works for you. If business hours don't work, you can pop an email in and we'll kind of look at that the next day. But there's a whole range of ways to get in touch with someone from our team. And also I will just say, feedback for these webinars. So something that we're doing that's fairly new for us.
Very new.
For our team here. So we're really keen to hear what you think, what we could do better, if the webinars are helpful or if there's any information you wish we were covering in here, please let us know. We're really keen and happy to hear about what you might have to think. On that note, there are so many webinars happening at the moment. We've got a couple pretty much every day. Some that might be relevant if you've watched today and sort of found it really interesting. Coming up later next week, there is a how to apply. So if you saw that SATAC slide and want even more of a breakdown and someone to really step that through and you get to see some of the website, sort of what it looks like, there's a session on that. If you're coming from TAFE or you've got a vet qualification and you want to move across to uni, that's absolutely a possibility. You can find out more. There you go. Find out more about that again next week. And also if you're thinking about a transition, so maybe you're currently at school or studying somewhere else, or like we said, doing a different career and thinking that it might be time to change, the transitions webinar would be really great, just something to help guide you and sort of put you on the right path and think about those transitions and maybe how to manage if you do move into something quite different like studying at uni.
Hopefully education.
Yeah, we're not biased at all. So I think that's about it for us today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Like I said, you can get in touch with us if you want to know more. If you've got any questions, we're really happy to help. But hopefully we've given you some information today that might be useful, that's going to set you on the right path or answer a couple of questions you had as well. But that's it from us. Thank you so much.